Hello everyone, welcome back to another video where today I want to talk about some brand new titles and directors and writers confirmed for Doctor Who Season 2. Now initially this information came from Doctor Who filming locations, but has been further substantiated by agency listings for some of the people involved, essentially confirming this as basically fact. Now obviously we've spoken in a previous video about one of the titles that leaked previously, i.e. Episode 1, The Robot Revolution, but we have 3 extra titles as well as I said, a confirmed new writer and 2 directors as well. So all that's coming more, but feel free to subscribe if you're new, that'd be greatly appreciated. We are trying to get to 25,300 subscribers and any support would be greatly appreciated in getting to that goal. But with that said, let's get into the news. So as I said, Doctor Who filming locations tweeted this earlier today. Working titles, potential writers and directors, Season 2 episodes 1 to 4 to be confirmed. So episode 1 is The Robot Revolution, written by RTD, directed by Peter Hall. Episode 2 is called Lux, also written by RTD and directed by Amanda Brocci. Episode 3 is 5 Miles Deep, and perhaps the most interesting one, it is co-written between a new writer called Sharma Wolfel and RTD, and directed by Amanda Brocci. I also apologise if I get any of these pronunciations wrong. And then episode 4 is titled Lucky Day, written by Pete McTeague and directed once again by Peter Hall. Now Doctor Who filming locations does also say that 2 of these titles are subject to change, and it's hard to verify information at this stage, but here is where I'm up to now. If new or improved information comes in, I will update. So be aware that some of these titles might change a bit before release, but broadly, this is looking pretty accurate at the moment. So first of all, I want to do some research into all of these new people involved, and then I wanted to discuss the actual titles themselves and what they could mean for the series. So Peter Hall, I had a look on his IMDb page, he's worked a lot on TV, particularly with Russell T Davies. He recently directed 2 episodes of The Last of Us, but he also worked on It's a Sin, Nolly, and a bunch of other shows, Shetland, but he has also directed Doctor Who before, mainly A Good Man Goes to War and its prequel episode. So he's not entirely new to the franchise, but this will be his first director credit since 2011. He's clearly gone on to be very successful, Umbrella Academy, Daredevil. So I'm looking forward to seeing him back in the director's chair for most of the first half of this series, it seems. As for Amanda Brocci, she has slightly less credits than Peter Hall does, but she did work on Gentleman Jack, which is the Sally Wainwright show, and Renegade Now, which is a Disney Plus show. And remember that name because it will be important in just a sec. But yeah, I have very little else to say on her because I've not seen many of the shows that she's directed, but I'm sure she'll be fantastic. And finally, we have the person that people were most excited and intrigued by, who is Sharma Wolfel. Now, we know that Sharma Wolfel is writing Doctor Who because on her agency listing, it lists her as currently working on an untitled Bad Wolf returning fantasy series with showrunner Russell T Davies, producer Bad Wolf and Jane Tranter, and broadcaster BBC, which doesn't, leave too many other options outside of Doctor Who. So it's very likely that this is accurate, but I wanted to take a look at Sharma's work and see what we could be in for. So I took a quick look at the Cult Box website, and she also apparently worked on Renegade Now, which is a Disney Plus series, but also Noughts and Crosses, Dreamland, and Supercell. Now I've heard of Noughts and Crosses and Renegade Now, but I don't know much about her work. But I am very glad to see a new writer joining the fray for Season 2. I have seen some discourse surrounding the idea of RTD co-writing with a new writer, but I do think it's worth noting that frequently during his first era, he would often completely rewrite scripts and change them around during his first era, but just wouldn't take a writing credit. So it's possible that he could have done some rewrites to the script, but instead decided this time he will have his name on the credit as well, alongside the new writer. It's also worth noting that this isn't going to be the only new writer we have. I believe episodes 5 and 6 are also new writers as well. So overall, pretty exciting stuff, but I wanted to also talk a little bit about the titles. Obviously, The Robot Revolution, we've spoken about a bit before. I'm not expecting that to be a particularly groundbreaking episode. I'm expecting that to be kind of your more generic opener in a similar vein to what Space Babies was last year, although hopefully, I think a little bit more sci-fi and a little bit more, I guess, conventional, maybe is the word, because I think Space Babies did unfortunately put off quite a few people last year. Lux, I have no idea what that title means. I've seen some people speculating that maybe it could be the name of the character that we see in the cinema. Maybe it could be the name of the brand new god that's presumably in that episode. But I honestly have no idea what to say about this one. Episode 3, 5 Miles Deep. Now, I'm assuming, because we kind of know vaguely that episode 3 is to do with, like, anti-gravity, and, like, the only shot we see from this episode is them descending from a tall height, so it's going deep down somewhere. That's all I can really glean from that, but it's a decent title. And then episode 4, Lucky Day, by Pete McTeague, I have absolutely no idea what to expect from. I believe Film and Location said that episode 4 is the Dr. Light one, and is going to have ties to the finale, and he's also going to have Ruby Sunday in it as well. So this could really be anything. I know that we saw for season 2 filming, like, people speculating about what Unit do and Unit being exposed. So maybe they're doing like a kind of Area 51 thing where maybe there's like people trying to spot aliens and they manage to actually see one, and that becomes their lucky day. I'm kind of speculating there. But I do remember back in season 1, Russell talked about an unused script that did involve the Roswell incident. So it wouldn't surprise me if that was reused or repurposed in some capacity for season 2. He has a long history of taking ideas that perhaps didn't make it the first time round and then kind of circling back to them. For example, one of his early suggestions for companions was like a group of old people, which he would then kind of do in End of Time at the very end of his era. Other such examples like that. So if they are kind of doing an Area 51 type pastiche, I could see that being interesting. That could explain why Unit are involved in that episode. Like I said, the only thing I do have some slight reservations on is Pete McTeague. And that's not because I hate Pete McTeague. I actually really like his work on the collection box sets. But I've not been a fan of either of his Doctor Who scripts so far, but I'm interested to see what he does under a different showrunner, because that can change things. But yeah, I mean, the big takeaway for me is that I'm glad to see a new writer getting on board. Obviously, again, I know some people are debating about, RTD co-writing yet another episode, but I think so long as we get 2 other episodes that are written by new people, as is speculated to be the case, I think that's perfectly fine. Perhaps, and again, this is like wild speculation on my end, it's possible that he could be using this as perhaps a means to train up a potential successor. We know that this writer, whose name escapes me just now, even though I've just said it, worked on a Disney Plus show, so perhaps there's a connection there. Maybe they're building up someone for the future. But who knows? I'm just speculating. That could be completely wrong. But it's fun to think about, and I'm looking forward to seeing what she brings to the table. But yeah, let me know in the comments below what you guys think about these new titles and new writers and directors. Whatever your thoughts are, drop them down in the comments below. Let's talk about it. Like this video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you later.